with me in the studio is Karthik Malhotra. Also joining us is Krishna Kumar. Gentlemen, thank you for taking time out. I want to quickly dive into MRF. That's a big story we are tracking. The stock at the moment hovering around 99,000 rupee.
99,976 as we speak. But yeah, momentous journey, I think, for Indian stock markets and Indian companies that are publicly trading on Dalal Street. So yesterday, like you said, 1,300,000 was the level that the MRF script reached. And it's the first Indian company, first time ever on the bourses, crossing the 1 lakh, touching and then crossing the 1 lakh rupee per share price. So I think a momentous occasion for the Indian economy, for corporate India, for the stock markets, that yeah, it's a homegrown brand, a homegrown company which has reached the 1 lakh rupee mark. Today, when the trading opened, I think the excitement of...
at 1 lakh there.
It's at 1 lakh as we speak right now. So, if you look at the dip that happened in early trading today, you see that the stock had actually come down to about 99,538 levels. Okay. So, it was a good almost 460 rupees down in initial trading. So, I think people who held on to the stock for a long time saw it reach the 1 lakh value and traded out. Okay. But then again, you see the gradual increase with a little dip and then an increase again. That intraday, it again reached a high of over 1 lakh rupees at 1 lakh 50, marginally down but still maintaining its 1 lakh rupee and thereabout threshold right now. Okay. As you're speaking, 99,985. But we can very clearly say that, yeah, this is one stock which has reached and is hovering around the 1 lakh rupee range, and that's excellent news.
Absolutely, excellent news. I was just telling, as we were discussing, it's just so difficult to buy one single stock of MRF at this point in time. You've got to have cash, 1 lakh rupee.
Right, and let's understand how we got here. You know, it's strange. How is it possible that, for example, MRF's market capitalization is around 42,000 crore rupees? You know, whereas the most valuable company in India's markets, Reliance, which has a 17 lakh crore rupee market capitalization. So you're talking about a 42,000 crore rupee company that has a 1 lakh rupee stock. You know, that is what is very interesting. And how did we get here? We got here primarily because MRF, which incidentally stands for Madras Rubber Factory, and this is a company which in the 1940s, in 1946 when it was founded, was a toy balloon manufacturing company because it could have rubber.
Wonderful.
Much later, did it start making tread rubber, and then it got into making tires. And it first went public in 1961. And in 2023, its stock is worth 1 lakh rupees. And I'll tell you how it happened. This company has never done something called as a stock split, which is what usually is done when stock's value rises incredibly, and then to make the stock more affordable to investors, like you're talking about right now, we can't afford the MRF stock. Usually companies do something called as a stock split. But MRF, in its 50-year history, has never done a stock split. Has never done a stock split. In fact, it offered more shares. In 1970 and 1975, it gave bonus shares in a 1:2 ratio and a 3:10 ratio. So, but it never ever did a stock split. That was in 1970, 1975, twice where they gave bonus shares, and then that's it. There was no stock split.
So the number of shares that are being traded for MRF for the last 50 years are pretty much the same quantity of shares, and hence the Reliance example that you gave, through stock splits and offloading more number of shares in the market, the price still remains more affordable even though it has a higher market cap.
Yes, exactly. And so as far as MRF is concerned, another reason why a stock split has not happened is because retail investors contribute about 12% of MRF's overall shares, mostly the share, and that's up to 2 lakh rupees per retail investor. Most of the shares of MRF are held by institutional investors, and institutional investors generally don't need or prefer a stock split. So that's the curious case of the MRF stock price hitting 1 lakh rupees, a toy balloon manufacturing company now considered a legacy as far as tire making in India is concerned, and the MRF stock currently is trading on a 100% premium compared to its peers.
Let's look at the returns. In fact, we have that graphic, and let's look at price-wise the top 10 stocks trading on Indian bourses right now. And Hamad, if you can pull up the graphics, I think it'll be fairly interesting. So MRF has given a YTD return, year-to-date return of 12%. Now this at a share price of about a lakh and thereabouts, right? Yesterday's share price at 98,940, the closing price. Look at the next most expensive share, Honeywell,
Honeywell.
Automation, at about less than half the price per share and a negative return on 2%.
Right.
Page Industries, number 3, 38,000 rupees per share, a negative return of 11%. Let's move to the next page and even look at, let's say, a brand like Bosch or Nestle. Nestle has given a return of 14%, with the stock price actually yesterday trading at about 23,000 rupees or so. So that's the kind of delta between the value of each share of the top 10 most expensive shares and the returns that they've given us thus far.
Interesting returns there. But of course, history scripted by a homegrown brand here, MRF, and then the
I'm
positioning
extremely happy
of
because it's
MRF.
my homegrown.
Your
It was
hometown,
Chennai homegrown
absolutely.
company. I'm
Right.
extremely happy on that front as well, Shweta. Sorry for
Right,
interrupting.
and you know, just to add to that, not just a homegrown brand, but a major tire player at that, and has established a repertoire in the market at this point in time.
Right, absolutely. And the thing is that the funny thing is that although the stock is trading at 100% premium, it doesn't mean that it has that kind of market share as compared to its peers. What it has done is consistently hold on to its market share and keep its revenues compounding at a regular rate. This is classically how the Chennai Super Kings cricket team you perform consistently over a period of time and then you're the champion of champions. That's what happens, and that's what the kind of company that MRF is. They've been doing good work. They've got more competition come into that business. You've got Apollo Tires, you've got so many big companies in the country, but MRF has ensured that its business keeps compounding at a regular rate for the last 20 years.
Wow.
And so did its stock. No sharp rises, no sharp falls, just steady increase,
Consistency.
compounding over 2 decades.
All right, a big success story of a homegrown tire brand. Initially started off as a rubber company, as Krishna pointed out correctly. Now a success story. Stocks crossing almost 1 lakh rupee mark on Indian bourses